Hey everyone, this is Jen. You're watching BPD Woman. On this channel, you will learn how to more effectively live and manage your borderline personality disorder. It's my goal to share my experiences through living with the disorder and recovering from the disorder for the last 20 years, as well as leaning on goals such as life worth living goals and offering DBT advice and instruction, which was developed by Marsha Linehan. I am not a life coach or a psychologist, but I can answer one question that most of those folks cannot, which is, what is it like to live with borderline personality disorder? I was diagnosed over 20 years ago, and I have been extremely committed to my recovery ever since. That means 4 to 6 rounds of DBT. That means group therapy, one-on-one therapy, and I'm talking decades. That means books and research and practice and workbooks. You get the idea. I'm pretty committed. So, if you do have BPD, you are in the right place. This is a place that if you want to get better and become more effective, this is the channel for you. And if you are a family member or a loved one of someone with BPD, or you just want to learn more about borderline personality disorder, you are also in the right place. And I also have a playlist that's dedicated just for you called Families, Vids for the Family. So check that out. So today I do 2 types of content on this channel. Usually one is of a problem and solution based type of approach, right? So many of those videos are how to handle a certain situation or become more effective. And then I've also started doing these emotional vlogs. So today I'm going to do a hybrid of each of those. So this happened just today. And there's a few things going on, so I'll highlight those as we go on today with what's going on with me. But I create these emotional vlogs so that those of you with BPD, oftentimes I watch like self-help channels, and people have all of the answers and they're recovered and they have these successful looking lives. And I think that if you peeled back some of those layers, you would see that they still have issues. They don't have all of the answers. And I don't proclaim that I do. And I think it's a sign of strength to be able to say, I don't have all of the answers. So if this all sounds good to you, please hit subscribe and the bell below so you never miss a beat. I produce anywhere from 3 to 5 videos each week, all something new to offer. So today I'm going to, like I said, do this emotional vlog, and it's entitled, Am I Too Sensitive? Why insensitive people bother those of us with BPD more than, say, the average person. A side note I'd like to say is maybe I wouldn't be so sensitive if you weren't so insensitive. Just saying. So, and I'm speaking out there to anyone who may feel like they're not very sensitive to other people and not just directly to you. So this, let me preface by saying that obviously I didn't intend to do this video today, and then, a third thing happened to me today that it's been kind of like going on over the week. And, and on top of that, obviously we're about a week away from Christmas now. And so that's creating some dysregulated feelings in me. I'll put up a link. I did a video not long ago and it was entitled, Feeling More Dysregulated Lately. This may be the reason why. And it just explains why the holidays can often bring up more dysregulation. So check that one out. It's super helpful, I think. And then I also did a video on coping if you're alone for Christmas, 10 tips and strategies to keep you healthy and sane. So today I'm obviously feeling a little dysregulated because we are getting closer to Christmas. Now I'm feeling a lot more in control than I have in years past. In years past, I would have crying spells and breakdown spells. I'd spend the whole day in bed. I would not be able to work. I would be completely despondent, and I would be on a worry wheel or a emotional dysregulated tornado where, like, one crying fit would, then I'd feel a little bit better, then another crying fit would come. And, as I've mentioned, that the more exposure you have to crying and emotional dysregulation, the more that builds, your tolerance to be able to deal with things in a cognitive manner or think things through gets lessened and lessened. And I've used this analogy that, right now I don't have any sun on me, right? So you can touch my skin, it feels fine. But if I went outside and I got a burn, ow, that would hurt. And then on the second day, if I decided that on top of that I would go to a tanning bed and get burned even more, ow, right? So you become more sensitive as the more stimulus is thrown at you. And so we've all heard these certain phrases if you have BPD. You're being too sensitive. Stop overthinking it. Why do you think that way? You're an emotionally sensitive person. What's wrong with you? Well, the answer is that there's nothing wrong with me, right? I certainly don't go around saying to people, why are you so insensitive? I don't know. Maybe I should say that more to people. Why are you so insensitive? You're such a self-centered jerk. Honestly, I think sometimes if the world had more people like those of us with BPD, and I'm just talking about the one aspect of our personality that is more focused on caring for others and being extremely empathetic and wanting to do things, I think that, we probably wouldn't even be in this COVID situation as extreme as it is right now, right? If everyone cared, everyone would wear a mask. Anyway, that's my 2 cents on that. But I think you get the point that, more compassion, more empathy is not a bad thing. I don't see how that could ever be a bad thing. So, quick recap, I have a small business and it's not doing well right now, as many small businesses are not. I still have clients supporting me here and there. And, for the majority of them, they don't actually need to be hiring me right now. So I am grateful to that. And I think that if you're in a position of vulnerability and you're feeling like you need to express more gratitude to someone, that perhaps you may feel less inclined then to ask for what you want or assert yourself. Right? I did a video on, am I allowed asserting yourself? So, the tendency to not speak up, I think, increases if you feel more indebted to someone. And over the years, I've learned, well, that's just not true, right? Just because you've given me a gift or you've hired me doesn't mean that I still don't deserve respect of my time, common courtesies, thank yous. I used to think that, they gave me a gift, so they should do whatever they want. Fuck no, that's not how life works. So here's what's going on. I have a small business and I have clients, obviously, and I created a dog walking business, and I created a little gift bag for all of my little doggy clients. Nothing big, but I wanted everyone to have something, and I wrote a handwritten Christmas card to each one of my clients. So I have this one client who, I don't know, I enforced a payment policy with her maybe about a month ago. She's continued to hire me because she needs to, because she's in law enforcement. So she actually needs me to come over because she's not physically there when she's at work. And I don't know, ever since that day, she hasn't, usually we'd be in this thing of, she'd like my posts. If I said I'm coming over this morning at this time, blah, blah, blah. She occasionally would say thank you or respond. I haven't heard a peep out of her except for her sending me money over the last month. It's weird. In the 2 years almost that I've been walking the dog, this is not how our relationship has been. So a couple of days ago, on Tuesday, I left the gift for her, a little dog, and the card right by the kitchen sink, right? You're going to be at the kitchen sink. You're going to see it. And in my report card that evening on Tuesday, I said, hey, so we're talking 4 days ago now. I said, hey, this is, by the way, I left you and the dog something, it's in the kitchen, it's from Santa. Nothing. No peeps. No thank you. No nothing. And she read the report card because she has her red receipts on because she hasn't figured out how to turn them off. Whatever. I know I'm being judgmental. She has had a week to say something. She's had a week to see it. She said nothing. Okay, well, that's freaking rude. If someone gives you a present, you acknowledge it. You say thank you. I can't get into this mindset of why someone wouldn't say thank you for a gift. I just would feel absolutely horrified. If somebody holds the door for me, I'm like, oh, thank you very much. Have a great day. And that's for a total stranger. You're telling me, like, I want the people that take care of my dog to feel absolutely comfortable and happy and appreciated, right? They're taking care of your dog. Do you want to make your dog walker not feel appreciated? I don't see how that works out for anyone. Anyway, okay, so I tried to let that go because, again, I need the income. And then I have a client yesterday who they both work from home right now because of the pandemic. But for the next 2 weeks, I'm not going to see them. I'm not scheduled to see them again until January because they're both going to be off. And so this is normal for them. They don't have me around these 2 weeks of Christmas. So, I left yesterday. They're both on calls, but on my report card, I said, I'm sorry to have missed you. Merry Christmas. I have you on my schedule again for January 5th. Again, it's been over 24 hours. Nothing, right? There's been no, yes, we'll see you January 5th. Yes, thank you so much. Have a Merry Christmas, And as a sidebar, over Thanksgiving, on Thanksgiving Day, I sent a Thanksgiving note out to all of my clients, like Happy Thanksgiving. And they were the only ones not to respond. They're not hurting for money, I can tell you that. So, okay, that was another thing, right? That's just one more thing. And then today, for about a week now, I have had an appointment to see one of my clients to drop off her little Christmas gift. And we have had on the calendar Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern today, okay, for me to come over, drop off this gift. Okay, it's been on the calendar for a week, right? So this morning I'm walking my dog at around 8:30, 8:45 in the morning, and I just send out my text to clients as I usually do, saying, hey, I'll be here at this time. And so today I said, hey, looking forward to seeing you at 10 a.m., just making sure that's good, blah, blah, blah. Now listen, for the rest of the day, I'm booked. Since my business is taking a real dive, like I have a second part-time job now that that's almost becoming my full-time job now because people are scared. They're not going anywhere. They're not going back to work just yet. So my business is still suffering. So I have to take this second job. And so my ability to work this second job is based on peak hours. So I have to be there at certain hours. Literally 10 a.m. is the only time I can meet today. Really. It's without just leaving it outside of her door. That's the only time. And she's not extremely close to me. Like she's a good 15-minute away drive. So I just can't pop around the corner. So I'm walking my dog, and then like 15 minutes later, she texts me, I have a meeting now at 10 a.m. Sorry for the change, but I'm free any other time. Here, I'm just like, what the fuck is wrong with people? Like, why do people think it's okay? Excuse me. Why do people think it's okay to just cancel on you last minute? And here's the kicker. I texted her to confirm the appointment. What if I had just come over at 10, like has been on our calendar for the last week, and just shown up, and then like not have been, driven the 15 minutes there and the 15 minutes back? Like, would she just not have said anything? Would have I just shown up and she'd be like, oh, sorry, I'm on a call now? Like, so, I got really annoyed, and I'm just like, why are my clients so rude? Why are my clients so disrespectful of my time? Right? Like, okay. And then the questions started coming, and she said, I said, well, it's not going to be today then, because now I have a second job that I have to work more and more, so I won't be able to make it today. So she loved that comment, which I don't know why she loved it. Like, I don't know if she doesn't realize that my second job is actually something that I don't really want to do, and it's only of a necessity that I have to do it. Clearly, if you're a business owner, getting a second-time job is not your ideal situation. And then she said, alrighty, well, I'm on leave all next week, so you could come over then. The dog has a Christmas card for you, which is nice. Is that supposed to make me feel bad? Did I feel a little bad that now she has a gift for me? Not, maybe a little bit, but not really. Like, I mean, Okay, well, if you knew you're going to be off all next week, why didn't you just schedule for me to come over next week instead of wasting my time? Like, listen, I started thinking, okay, Jen, this is an emotionally more dysregulated time of the year. You're coming up on having PMS, so you get another layer of emotional dysregulation on top of you. Are you being too sensitive? These are the questions I'm asking myself now. Am I not being flexible enough? Have I done something to put my clients off or to make them not want to text me back, or have I made them feel uncomfortable? So I started thinking, and the answer is I have acted in my goals and standards and ethics. And one of the telltale signs that you can tell if you have been acting in your goals and standards is that you feel okay with yourself. Now, as a baseline, if I've done something hurtful to someone else, I feel guilty, I feel shame, I feel like beating up on myself, emotionally speaking. I feel completely dysregulated, I will cry. None of that's happened. None of that has happened. So I know, and this is the good thing, right, about using skills, is that I feel a sense of mastery because I know that I have been acting all in the ways that I've wanted to act and be. I haven't done anything vindictive. I haven't said anything out of hurt or anger. I have shown up when I've needed to show up. I have kept my promises. So there's nothing that I can see that I have done that can warrant any kind of disrespect. Now, listen. Hi, sweetie. People, we've been over this, right? People are boundary pushers. People are going to be disrespectful of your time. People are going to do things and say things that have nothing to do with you personally just because they're wrapped up in their own selves. Most of what people do or say has very little to do with what we are and who we are as people. So if that's all true, if I've acted in my goals and standards, and it's my sidekick, isn't she gorgeous? Then another possibility is that people are just goddamn insensitive and rude. And they're just disrespectful of who you are, what you do, and your time. Now, do they go around thinking that they're disrespectful? Do they go around thinking, coming up with ways to disrespect your time? Probably not. They probably don't think about it as deeply as those of us with BPD do. And that's perhaps why other people's insensitivity bothers us so much. Because if you're like me, you really care about other people and you want people to have a good time at your party, right? And you want people to feel comfortable when they're in your home. If someone's coming over, I'm like, what's your favorite drink? I'll have it on hand, right? You want people to feel cared for. Like, you go the extra mile for people. And then after you've done that for a while and you feel like you're not maybe getting the same kind of reciprocation back, if you're like me, well, in years past, I'd be like, well, fuck you, and flip a table and walk the hell out of there. Now I'm just like, okay, I'm just going to pull it back. Remember, it's that gray thinking. It's that black and white thinking that you want to get away from. So I don't need to throw away the relationship, right? That would be very black or white thinking. They either can be in my life or they cannot. But, I can say, okay, you can be in my life, but, I'm just going to severely limit like the personal aspect that I dump into this relationship. So sure, I'll service you professionally and that's it. No gifts, no cards. If that means that I have to be different with some clients than others, well, then I guess that's what it's going to be. But, I'm not a doormat. I don't even have the money to give. These people know, my clients know that I'm suffering, right? They know, they can see it. I don't even have to tell them, economically speaking, so many people are suffering. I don't need to tell people that, right? Like they know that we're in an economic hardship. So am I too sensitive? Am I too emotional? Yes, I am. I'm emotional and sensitive, and that's not going to change. And you know what? That's not a bad thing either. That's not a bad thing. The negativity that surrounds, oh, you're too emotional, I think is the second part that can come out of the being too emotional, which is the lashing out or the accusations or the jumping to conclusions or how you react to someone disrespecting you, right? Had I written to that client today that said, at the last minute she canceled on me and like, well, aren't you insensitive? I'll just dump his gift on your doorstep, that would have not made me feel good. That would have been like, ugh, right? Like she would have retracted. Well, you know what, everyone? I am sensitive and I'm fine with that. And, here's the thing. I've heard over my life, you're too sensitive. You overthink too much. Well, you know what? A lot of people don't think too much. A lot of people are too insensitive. So talking about gray area, why don't we all meet in the gray area? If you want my tips on how to handle this effectively, then you have to, again, ask yourself, what are the goals for me? What is it that I want out of this interaction with these people? Well, my goal is to keep money coming in, and there's a dueling goal right now. I also want to feel good about who I am, right? So that means, yes, I can keep them because I need money, but I'm also not going to be disrespected. And if that imbalance starts to get higher and higher and higher, I don't care. I'll cut you out. Like, you just won't be a client anymore because you're not going to find exactly what I do anywhere else out there. You could try, but you will not. I'm promising you. That's what's made me successful, is creating out this niche, and I'm not just tooting my own horn, but always ask yourself, what is it that I want out of this situation, right? And does other people's insensitivity bothers me? Yes, it does. And if you have BPD, it probably bothers you as well, because remember, we're highly we have high empathy, we think a lot, we have a great deal of emotion, right? When it's raining for someone else, it's thunderstorming for us. We have that emotional fibromyalgia, like sensitivity and stimulus can affect us more deeply than it does others. I mean, I cannot change that. The only thing that you can change is the way you think about certain situations, right? Try not to go down a worry wheel, or try not to go down. Whatever you feed will grow. So if you feed your negative thoughts, yeah, this is what happened. Yeah, she's a bitch, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to get revenge. Then that's what will grow, and it'll make you feel bad. It'll eat away at you. But if you feed the good part, the healthy part, this has happened. I don't like this, but I'm not going to overreact on this right now because I'm emotionally dysregulated. Instead, I'll do this. That gives you more control, right? So you can feed that positive thinking. You can feed that, whatever that goal is that you want, and you can control that. And you don't have to be a doormat to anyone. The only thing that you can change is how you respond to people. The way you feel, while it can be certainly managed, feelings happen instantaneously. You don't think about having a feeling, right? That's why there's thoughts. That's why there's feelings. Just right, like I don't feel about my thoughts. I mean, that's just how it is. You are going to always remain a pretty sensitive person, and there's nothing wrong with that. Think about all of the people. This is going to be a separate video I do, but think about all of the famous people that have borderline personality disorder. They're highly artistic. They're highly empathetic, Pete Davidson, SNL, comedian, right? An actor. He has been very outspoken that he has borderline personality disorder. And his dad died in the World Trade Center of 2001. Terrorist attack, yeah. Princess Diana, most beloved woman in the entire world. High, strong evidence to support she had borderline personality disorder. Frantic abandonment issues, self-harm. I was watching a documentary, these are her own words. She cut herself with a penknife to get attention from Prince Charles, right? The bulimia, right? The emotional outbursts, the frequent crying. Amy Winehouse, wonderful artist, right? Unfortunately dead at 27 years old because her addictions were out of control and she drank herself to death, alcohol poisoning, but she had borderline personality disorder, right? Anna Nicole Smith, people say Angelina Jolie. All of these people are extremely artistic and sensitive, and also have given people a lot in life, right? That's great. That's wonderful. There are so many great aspects to having this disorder. And obviously, like that gray side of the coin, there are also drawbacks. So yes, other people's insensitivity bothers me more than others. Yes, that's okay. Yes, I can control that with my emotional regulation and my thought patterns. Yes, I can choose not to act out and be uncontrollable. Yes, I can control who I decide that I want to hold the door for and who I do not. I can decide who I want to go the extra mile for, right? Relationships are two-way streets. That doesn't mean that, I should forget all of the other times that my clients were on time or they were thankful. Things happen, I suppose, but it just gets very hard for me to wrap my head around why it's okay for some people to abuse other people's time and cancel at the last minute, or, not say thank you for a gift or not acknowledge your text. I mean, that's just, I don't think there's too many ways to explain that. My name is Jen. You've been watching BPD Woman. We have been talking about emotional sensitivity and how to handle it and how to handle other people's insensitivity. Please drop me a line below. Thanks so much for tuning in. And as always, until we speak next time, please be effective. Bye-bye.